I decided to get the exhaust done, do all the finish welding, and make the other two custom hangers so I can position everything where it's supposed to be to shoehorn this 3-inch exhaust system in here. Well, I got one side done. I got the pipes drying right now. Didn't have no paint on them and saw some surface rust on one of them, so I decided I better paint them a little bit before I put them back on. So that's what I'm waiting on right now, and I'll be getting on the right side here, disassembling this and taking it out so I can make the other custom hanger for the other side. So this is the tailpipe right at the back of the bumper. When I was taking this off, I noticed that this part right here was like bucking up against the frame. I'd misjudged this distance right here by 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, somewhere around that neighborhood. So I don't want to move the muffler back and forth too much because it'll make it look crooked underneath the car, and I'm obsessive about that kind of shit. So it's only tacked together in a couple spots, so I've marked it out, the position, so I get it welded back the right way. And this is my project box for the exhaust system. So these, I keep parts off of it that I cut, you know, along the way when I was shaping this deal together. And this is like one of the smallest parts I cut off. This is like a 1/2 inch or so, and so I'm gonna cut this out, right, and weld this in to create a gap there, and I can tune that up once I get it reinstalled. Got the piece in, got a coat of paint on it, waiting for it to dry, moving on. So the way this all fits together, because it does fit the way together that it does, this is the intermediate pipe, I guess you'd call it, coming off the headers, going back to the muffler. It isn't completely straight right off of the collector. It angles a little bit just because of the way the rest of the exhaust system fits together. So I'm going to have to make a relief cut in it, and so it'll angle slightly, and I had to do this on the other side. And because when I took this all apart just now, a few minutes ago, even this end, let's see, yeah, this end down here was actually the part that goes in the muffler. You could just see, I could see that it was angled about 10 degrees, right? And it was even hard to get apart. I had to get the muffler and this pipe out of here on one piece and then kind of wiggle it apart to get it apart. So I'm going to make a relief cut in here and roll it over and get the torch out. And because this is pretty thick stuff, I can't just like flex it, you know. I gotta heat it up in order to get it to marry over and close up the gap. The gap underneath the cut I made is kind of jagged, so I'm going to open it up a little bit. Not quite get what I want. Problem here too. put a tack on this, and then when the time comes, I'll put it all together, see how it's running. Should be good, and after that it won't be that big of a deal to disconnect it, bring it out, weld it up, blah blah blah, paint it, put it back in, because it's daylight now, but I'm pretty much set on pulling an all-nighter to finish this deal up. See how that works out. Okay, so what we have here is going to be one of two adjustable muffler hanging mounts, and this allows for front and back. Each one of these goes in the front and the back, and this allows with these nuts and this piece of all thread rod to slide the front or back of the muffler left or right, and then this hole, which I'm going to be cutting these off of here and putting longer ones on, it's going to raise this up like 1.5 inches, and it allows for some up and down movement too. So I can fine-tune a location of the muffler, because, you know, I mean, I'm stuffing a 3-inch muffler system in this thing, and it's a tight fit. So that's what I made these for. So when I put these in, you'll see what I mean, how they work. So let's get to rebuilding this thing. So this is the rear muffler holder mount for the right side of the car. Just some scrap steel I found out in the field in my travels, and these are a couple of cut off of a couple of 90-degree. I don't know if I can find the other part that I cut it off of. Here. So this is like a 90-degree angle, 5 inches on each side by 7/8. Pick these up at Menards. Cut the ends off. There's some pre-drilled holes in it already that I'm going to enlarge for the all thread rod that's going to go through. Right? And then I'm going to marry these together with some weld 90 degrees opposed to each other. That's going to be the support system for the muffler. Throw a coat of paint on it and ready to go. There it is. This is the rear mount for the muffler. We'll mount that thing up and you'll see how this all works together. So there's that one, and this is the front one. I believe in an early video I had these in, but if you look, I got nuts holding it up now. I drilled holes in and put those threaded bungs that you can put in with like a riveter gun, something like that. And it's gonna be a lot more secure. So I got all the components ready pretty much for the left hand side. I can start putting that back together, and then the other side I got kind of like a tryout fit, and also you can see the emergency brake cable hanging there. That's going to be routed and secured as well. So these are the steps that still have to be taken before get the final installation here for this exhaust system. Okay, after much battling and trimming and cutting and welding, I think I've arrived at 99% of this exhaust system install. I think it even, if I look, so yeah, I appreciate comments. So if you kind of like to look at this one and then look at this one, I mean, they're the same distance, I think, droop down from this hold-on tab for the valance panel, because that was a battle just getting that, because I'm going to make my own custom downturns. I'm not going to cut a holes in the valance panel, I think, and do tailpipes, all that stuff. I could, maybe I will later on at some point, but that's just the way I'm thinking. That's where I'm going to go with that. I think I might do something else back there that's different. I don't know. Put some brighter backup lights in it or something like that. So anyway, yeah, so because I wanted to do that, I had to use another. This, I think, was the original intent of this hole right here, was for the adjustment of a possible dual exhaust for a real GTO, but I had to move them both back to another factory slotted position so that I could like cut this here and then make my custom downturn. But this is going to work for now to get the car moved. Moving up forward here a little bit. The right side is completely done. The front pipe or intermediate pipe, all the finish welding's done. It's been painted and installed to a certain point where I could finish fitting and spacing out of the muffler, leveling it out, getting it to cant right, you know, because I don't know how many times I've been driving around in the summertime and I see a hot rod go by somebody's project or their you know, hot rod car, and you, as they drive by, you look underneath and you see a decent exhaust system, but one muffler's canted one way or the other, or one's higher than the other, and it just, to me, it just looks like crap. So I tried to make mine. I spent hours trying to get these canted the right way, you know, and leveled out. And they're like a 99% right now because this car's got to move so I can get the truck fixed. So the only thing that's holding me up right now is I'm waiting for some insulation to come in for the speedo cable on the left side pipe up there, because I just want to insulate those for my own peace of mind. And also on this side, everything's fitting the way it's supposed to, right? Spacing's good. It's a little close with the A-arm right here. Alright, but it is too a little bit on the other side too, but just check the movement. It's not going to hit. The weight of the car is actually on the springs. So this, yeah, so it's going to be good. So I'm going to do finish welding on this elbow, but the only thing is that like right at the top of this arc right here, I'll see if I can point with my fingers, like right here. Let me put the light on. So right where my finger is at, this is where the stamping is for part of the structural integrity of the spring mount. And this is like either touching it or it's either touching it or there's like barely a paper, the width of a paper, you know, space up there. And for some reason on this side, there's like a gap. I know you can't see, now you can see my hand go right over the top and curl over. That's because like there's an inch gap here and I can't, the only thing I can guess is that when these were bent up, there was a slight, you know, miscue at the factory, or maybe it was something I did, never know. But I gotta like, may I say the word like too much. I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna make a cut right along here and then here, up here somewhere, and reduce and kind of like bring this down as much as I can, because that'll even help out the clearance with the control arm there. So that's where we're at with the muffler, or with the exhaust system. I don't know, to me it looks pretty damn even. And this is as far as back as I can get right now because the pickup truck's behind me. I'll kind of make a pan shot here. So yeah, pretty much gotta take the right side apart, do the finish welding on the front pipe in front of the muffler, and then try and get that hoop over pipe for the axle, get that lowered down. And then again too, cosmetically, is also the tailpipe, just smooth out these welding boogers, you know, because on the other side there are hardly any, because that matter, you know, this is an appearance thing but not a functionality thing. And we can finally call this exhaust system 99.9% finished. And when I come back to it, come back to the car after the pickup truck gets its frame on it, then we can like really do a serious look at it and just dial it in that last 1/100th of a percent. So here's the plan. I got the hoop pipe out, and yeah, I went overboard with the cutter here because I wanted to take one big swing at it to compress this angle so that it would fit up in there correctly. And this is something else I got to deal with too. So I'm probably going to end up cutting this triangle out, this little triangle out here, and just smoothing these edges and making a paper template and cut a piece of metal to shape and cover this in instead of trying to fill that in with rod, because I think that'd be kind of insane. But anyway, the idea is to lower, so this is the muffler end, and this goes down and out to the tailpipe, and the idea is to get this to come down a ½ inch, an inch, whatever, to clear that part I showed you here a second ago. And I was thinking, you know, I'm going to cut here, and I'm going to cut here, and bring the hole down like that, right? And then I thought, you know what, that's not going to work, because I think I'll be creating more work for myself than I need to. So all I'm going to do is just cut this right here and lower this down an inch. And that way I save my self-work on this side, and then all I have to do after that is put it back in the car and test fit the tailpipe back on, because the worst case scenario is that I have to trim a ½ inch or an inch off of this. I took a measurement, I got a solid 3 inches between here and here, so that everything fits together the way it's supposed to. And we'll get to that and we'll see what we got. Okay, so I shortened it and cut the triangle out and made a patch and welded that all up, I think I have an exhaust system. Let me show you what I got. So I know that the tailpipes are hanging lower one from the other. One this side's lower, but that's due to just the inconsistencies of the kit on one side from the next and any anomalies with the car, blah blah blah, and my novice experience at putting in a custom exhaust, especially one that's 3 inches from front to back. So but that being said, if you look, I think that the spacing and the droop down, and I'll zoom in here, I'll get in here a little bit more. And the way the mufflers are hanging and leveled out, right, look pretty damn good. You can see the pipes running up to the front. I got my new gaskets in the front, all that, and everything looks pretty damn even. I even got the spacing to work out around the gas tank a little better on each side, so I don't think I'm going to be doing any more custom routing of that, because there's just a lot of air gap around that gas tank and I'm not concerned about that anymore. But that, as far as the tailpipes hanging lower from one to the other, I think I said this in another cut. I'm gonna, from this end, well, from this to this bend right here, that's getting cut off. Same thing on this side, and I'm gonna make a custom, well, I'll order some, the sort of like the hidden turn downs. I'll throw a picture up of what I'm talking about. This finally concludes the exhaust installation on this car. Wow, I didn't think it was going to be this big of a exposition, you know, to put this thing in. I knew it was going to be different, maybe a little bit more, confined space kind of thing, because it went to a 3-inch. But just spending the kind of time on it that I had to make everything even and look good, you know. Being that meticulous can be kind of insane sometimes when you're that obsessive about it, like I was with this thing. So I hope everybody watching this thing, if you made it to the end of the video this far, got something took away from this. If you decide to go this route, maybe you'll order a different kit, a better one, I don't know. But I hope that somewhere along the line this helps somebody out along when they decide to put a 3-inch exhaust on a big motor car like I have, which isn't exactly a lot of horsepower, but it's pulling a lot of torque. And that's what I'm looking for. Later on, I'll make another video on down the line after the truck gets fixed up a little bit more. I want to put an H-pipe on it. That'll improve my torque curve a little bit. And then maybe in a week or two, I'll be able to post another video and get just like something short, 10 minutes long, I'm hoping. That'll show how I got the brake split out the way I do it. So thanks for watching, and be cool.